Gentlemen, my name is Barack Obega, and today I'll be doing a review of the series finale of Stranger Things. Now, this is the finale of a show that has been around since 2016 or so, and this was a daunting task because a lot of shows they have issues sticking with the ending. I'm looking at you, Game of Thrones. So it was very important that for Stranger Things' legacy and for it to maintain the test of time, it would have to have a good finale. And I think they nailed it. Honestly, honestly, I had a great time with this. I thought, number one, foremost, and this is something you can visually see immediately when you watch the show. The budget, production value, and quality of this show, if we're comparing it to other contemporary shows, other shows on Netflix, other shows, Hulu, wherever you go, you would be hard pressed to find a TV show with this much quality and let's just straight up say money put into it. I mean, the money is visible from the screen. I mean, the CGI and some of these worlds, some of these visuals that are created, some of the special effects. I mean, it's almost worth watching that alone. And that's not including some of these character moments that are placed here. So something that I noticed with this season, and it's it happens a lot with seasons when they get towards the end, is there gets to be a lot of characters. So there are tons of characters, and they all need to have their closure. But there's only so many episodes. There's only a couple more episodes to go. So I was very interested to see how they were able to find time for characters and figure out who gets time here. And I think they did a good enough job. I mean, there were a lot of characters, but I thought a couple moments that stood out was Nancy and Jonathan when they were trapped in. They were in this place where I guess there was a liquid that was going to rise up and kill them eventually. And just the conversation that they have just felt so raw, just felt so raw and authentic. And I think both the actors killed the scene, and I thought the scene was outstanding. Um, Even situations where Dustin and Steve got in a fight, an altercation, and just the actor Dustin expressing pain of Eddie's death and fear of losing Steve. I mean, it's really really impactful stuff. I mean, they did a really good job here. But what I will say about Stranger Things season 5 and 4 that really allowed these two seasons to be, in my opinion, the two best seasons of Stranger Things 4 and 5 is because of one man and one man alone, and that is Vecna. I cannot overstate how important it is for a show to have a good villain. That is honestly, even over the hero, they need a good villain because the villain, right, is usually the one that creates the drama and intrigue of the show. And the first three seasons they were good. They were good, especially season one. Great seasons of television. However, you're going against just mindless monsters, demo dogs, demogorgons. You're not going against an intellectual entity that means harm for you, and you don't have that actor that to play off of villain wise, and that's what Vecna provides this season, for season 4 and season 5, and he kills it. I mean, the actor that does it, I mean, you just look in his eyes. I'm like, man, ain't no way you a good person in real life, bro. He probably is, but it's like, ooh, you acting too good. And I mean, bro, like Vecna just provides so much intrigue to this show and this season because he's just such a freak. Because he's kidnapping all these kids. He's like sticking freaking like tentacles in their mouths. He's weird, bro. And it's like the whole time it's like, why is he doing this? And that intrigue carries throughout the show. Just the way he plays off certain characters like Max and Eleven. I think Vecna brings a lot, and I give kudos to the actor because he did a really good job. Um, Speaking of Vecna, another character that interacts with him a lot that I didn't like. The first part, I was questioning why she was so involved, and that is Mike's younger sister. So I guess she was a character that was in the past seasons, but she was a super minor character, like, like only a couple scenes, maybe a season type character, not really heavily focused. But on this season, they made a point to focus on her. And in the first part, I was wondering why. I was confused as to why they were focusing on her that much. Come to find out, her payoff is really awesome because you really get to see the growth in her character. And I definitely think she was implemented to kind of, keep the spirit of Stranger Things alive. In that it is mainly, at its core, Stranger Things is about children fighting against mythical, otherworldly beasts and creatures. And the kids from the first and couple seasons, they grew up. So they needed to kind of stand in to maintain that spirit. And I think she did a really good job of that. Um, I will say, Will, I have to talk about the scene. There's a scene, and I liked everything in this show, but the one scene that I just had to go on my phone for, I just couldn't watch. I just couldn't take it seriously. And if you've seen it, you know the scene I'm talking about. It's a scene where Will, he's coming out, and he's like he has. All I can say is this: I can't explain why I felt this way, but it just felt in 2025. I don't know. I just didn't really it just didn't feel authentic to the show. It just did not feel like a bunch of kids in the 1980s having a conversation. It felt very 21st century, and it just didn't feel authentic. It just didn't feel right. It felt like it was placed there um for some reason. And it was the only scene in the whole season. I literally went on my phone. I was like, bro, I can't watch this. But other than that, I mean, it was fine. I mean, there like Will's character. It was dope to see him get his powers, use his powers. I mean, his situation, him. I mean, for him to um, gain his confidence and be able to have his mom believe in him. I think that was a very, very important part of the season. So I think one of the most important people you had to talk about when you talk about the season, how it ended, was 11. And at first, again, I was wondering why they brought back the one lady from season two. Now I realize why they brought her back. She basically tells 11 that the only way that this type of Stranger Things, the Demogorgons, Henry, all that stuff goes away is if they basically do a suicide pact. Basically, because the government can create more Henrys essentially from Eleven's blood, and the ending is kind of left up to interpretation of whether she actually died or she she lived. But I think she died. I'm pretty sure she died. Um, and I think it had to happen. I think if they had ended this season without anybody dying, and I don't count the other lady, the Indian lady, I'm not gonna count her death because she was only in one episode season two and just popped up. Now I don't count her. They just had to have a main character die, and I think it only makes sense that it's 11. And it's sad to see because we like 11. She's a mainstay character, but I mean, at the end of the day, the show was called Stranger Things, and when there's no more need for Stranger Things, 11 is grouped into that Stranger Things because she is a strange thing. Just the fact that she has the power she has, in a world where presumably nobody else has these powers, she would always be she would know no peace. And the fact that Henry could be created, or the fact that the Demogorgons will continue to be a threat if she's alive, I understand why she did the things she did. I mean, it's sad, but it makes total sense within the story. And that was really the main finale. I mean, obviously, there's a big fight with Vecna. There's the fight with the Mind Flayer. You get back a little bit of Vecna's backstory, find out that he was kind of indoctrinated by the Mind Flayer as well. The Mind Flayer, I mean, that reveal was awesome. I mean, the fight against the Mind Flayer and the group. I mean, if we're being overly realistic, obviously the Mind Flayer should have just stomped on them, and basically, there's no way those kids should have stood a chance against that beast. But it's a TV show. At a certain point, you just got to get lost in it. The whole show, Stranger Things, it's a bunch of teenagers with no powers, mostly no powers, fighting against Demogorgons with all types of crazy powers and speed and strength and ability. So, I, I had no problem with it. I mean, if you want to break it down, okay, maybe they should have died here, here, here. But look, as long as you're entertaining me, as long as you're giving good character moments, as long as you're um, doing what's right for the story, I'm not going to be a stickler for that sort of stuff. But I will say one part about this finale that I thought they nailed hit out of the park was kind of the epilogue, and it was a longer epilogue than most show finales would have. But I thought they nailed this epilogue. Essentially, the epilogue is them like a year and a half later, and it shows their lives and it shows how they've grown and where they're at in life. And honestly, this whole thing just kind of gave me like the warm fuzzy feelings. I just felt so happy for the characters having overcome everything they've overcome and being able to essentially move past this trauma that they all faced at the hands of these otherworldly beasts. And it just gave me the warm fuzzies. I mean, watching that, it was almost like I wanted like just another like I wanted to check in on these characters in a couple of years. Like it was like I was like, dang, these people are cool. Like when you're not fighting these beasts and it's not overly dramatic and they're just chilling, they're talking, they're hanging out. I mean, these characters are dope people, and I would want to check in on them in a couple years, and that shows that's a testament to how well written they are. It's a testament to the actors, and it's a testament to the showrunners and their ability to create characters that are capable of being invested in. So that is all I have to say on that. If I were to give a rating, shit, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I mean, this is quality television. 10 out of 10. This is quality television. I don't care because I'm going to say it, bro. I haven't watched anyone else's opinion on this show, but I've seen thumbnails. And a lot of these thumbnails are negative, and I haven't heard what they had to say, but just based off the thumbnail, I have to say this. This is big time television, right? If we're comparing this television show to other television shows, contemporary television shows, you can't tell me that this isn't a step above. This isn't a step ahead. And if we want to be sticklers, we can be sticklers, but I don't care. I had a great time watching this show. Outside of that one scene, I had a great time watching this show. I thought it was fantastic, and I thought the showrunners did a great job. And that's all I have to say on the matter. Baraka Beckett, signing off.